What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Simple Ebesun. Today, I want to discuss about very important topic to us: the reason why we need to trade like a robot. In order to trade like a robot, we need to follow some rules and regulation in order to trade like a robot. So, number one thing we need to consider, we need to have a checklist or a rules around our strategy, a rules that will help us to enter a particular trade. And then so you have to create a rules. Maybe for example, I use RSI as one of the indicator that I use to trade. When RSI is below as above 50, I consider buying that particular trade, and then when it's below 50 level, then I'll consider selling that particular trade. So it's one of my rules, it's one of my checklists that I use, and then I have other checklists surrounding it. Even some support and resistance that I look out is one of my checklists that I use to enter a particular trade. So in order to be sure, in order to be more disciplined, you have to have a checklist for entering a particular trade. Number two to consider in order to trade like a robot, you need to select your time frame. You need to select a time frame that you will be used to, that we use to trade. Some people may choose 1 hour, some people may choose 4 hours, 2 hours, any hours that you can choose, that that you are familiar, you can relate with that particular time frame. The time frame that is very very okay with you. For like example, trade in 15 minutes rather than trading in 5 minutes and then 5 minutes and then 1 minute. No, 1 minute is very very fast for me, so I trade in 15 minutes. The reason why I adapt myself with the 15 minutes is that my 15 minutes I use it for my sniper entry, because I follow up my trade in 1 hour. So you need to have a maybe two time frame. One will be using for your entry, and then the other one will be using for your confirmation, for you to stay more in that particular trade. Because when a 15 minutes is in a ranging position, then I'll go to 1 hour. Maybe I'm in a trade. If I'm in a trade, I'll go to 1 hour to see the overall market of that 15 minutes, that the market is still in uptrend or a downtrend. So I have a lot of checklists that I follow in order to execute a particular trade. So you need to create one for yourself. You need to create one around your own strategy that you use, because if you have a checklist that you create around your own strategy, it will make that strategy to be more profitable, to more it will make that strategy to be more profitable and then organized. So you need to work on that. Number one, a checklist. Number two, you need to select a good time frame, a time frame that you are familiarized yourself with. And then number three, you need to consider is a currency pair that you trade. A currency pair that you trade in order to trade like a robot. A robot, you need to have some robots have some currency pair that they adapt to, that they work well in. So as a trader also, you need to select a currency pair that is handle the move of that currency pair. I've talked to so many people. Some people say gold move very fast, that so they don't want to trade gold. That gold is a very volatile currency pair, that they end up blowing their money with gold. And then you talk to some people, they'll say that no, gold is okay with me. So you need to choose a currency pair that will trade. At least you need to trade one to three currency pair, because if you trade multiple currency pair, you will end up confusing yourself. So you have to select a currency pair that is suits to you. Don't trade every currency pair. You have to choose one to three, one to four, that you have it on your chart. Then you can, when you manage a small currency pair, maybe one to two or one to three, then you will familiarize yourself more with that particular currency pair. You know their key level, their turning point and everything. Then you know more about them. Then you familiarize yourself about that currency pair in order. So when you are familiarized yourself with that currency pair, you will have more confidence in that currency pair than trading other currency pairs. So that's our number three points. And then Now, another thing you need to consider in order to trade like a robot is what? You need to have a out of trade rule. Like, what are the things you consider in order to back out of any trade, in order to get out of any trade? What are the things that you consider? You have to have those rules. Okay, as an example, you need to have a rule that will surround your out of trade. Like, okay, if RSI is if like I use sarcastic for overbought and oversold level. Okay, if sarcastic is overbought, then I will be out. If sarcastic is at 50 or is at 20, then I will get out of that particular trade. You have to have a rule surrounding your out of trade. So you need to do that in order to trade like a robot. The reason why I say you need to trade like a robot, because if you trade randomly, you just enter a trade, get out. Number one, you will end up losing your money, because sometimes you just gamble into a trade, then without following a strategy, without have following your rules and everything. So you need to have a rule, you need to stay with the rule. Then when you apply a checklist with your strategy, then that will give you a good opportunity to test that particular strategy, that is it working or not. Thank you very much.